What's going on, stackers? So in this video I'm going to share with you a KDP low content book niche that sells extremely well for me over the Q4 period. So, welcome back to StackinProfit. My name's Paddy, and over here we give you the tools and resources to learn, grow and master passive income streams so that you can live a life of freedom. Now, like I said, in this video I'm going to share with you one of my best selling low content book niches that I actually sell quite a lot of over the Q4 period. Now, the book type that I'm going to share with you, I tend to sell all year round, but I do actually sell quite a lot at Christmas, and this book type is in my top 10 selling books of all time. Now, here we are on Get Book Report. This is a software which can help you analyse all of your sales data. From here we can see that I've actually made over $86,000, coming close to that six-figure mark. Anyway, what I want to do is scroll right down to round about here, and then I'm going to show you this book type. So the book type is just here. We can see it's in my top best selling 10 books of all time, and this book is a blank recipe cookbook. Now, these types of books, there's lots of different keywords that you can target, which we're going to go over as well a little bit later on in the video. But right here, we can see over the whole account, I've actually sold 784 units, making me $2,500. Now, this is just one of my blank recipe cookbooks because I have multiple different types. Now, like I said, this is over my whole account over the whole time. So what I've gone ahead and done, now what I'm going to do actually thinking about it is just unblur one of the words just here or a couple of the words so you can see that it is actually a cookbook. There we go, you can see that right now. Now if we go back up to the top and go over to another tab which I have open, I've filtered this through Q4. So we can see just here Q4 2020. If you don't know what Q4 is, it's the end of the year. The year is split up into 4 different quarters, and the fourth one, being from October to December, is when you get a lot of Christmas sales. So when you hear someone say Q4, that's what they mean. They mean the end of the year. Anyway, I filtered this through Q4 of last year. We can see how much I made. I made 14,000 in October to December last year. But if we scroll down to here, we can see that in Q4, one of my blank recipe cookbooks did extremely well, where I sold 331 units, making $1,000 in royalties. And then just a few spots down to here, I think this was my 5th bestseller for Q4 last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in the 7th spot, just here, I'll unblur this, we can see that I have another blank recipe cookbook that does extremely well. So out of my top 10 books for last year, the 4th spot just here is a blank recipe cookbook, and then the 5th, 6th, so it's the 6th. The 6th spot is another blank recipe cookbook. Now, when it comes to blank recipe cookbooks, there's lots of different keywords that you can target and lots of different ways to actually create that book. Now, before we get into that, there is one thing I want to note really quick, and that is Paddy's Brain. Have you joined yet? There is a link down in the description. You can come through. It's completely free to join. This is actually my own personal newsletter where you can get an insight into my brain, business and life. So if you haven't signed up yet, click that link down in the description. Come through and join. Now what I want to do is just go over to Amazon for a minute, and I want to explain to you about how many keywords there are for you to actually use in your blank recipe cookbooks, or a few different ways that you can create your blank recipe cookbooks. Now this video, I thought about doing this video because last week within the LCB Vault I shared my top 5 best selling niches for Q4 over the last 2 years. I shared those niches within inside the vault. Now blank recipe cookbooks, as you just saw, is one of those niches. Now, if you want to check out the rest of those niches, come and join the LCB Vault. Again, there will be a link for that down in the description below as well. Now, I'm on all departments. What I'm going to type in is just blank recipe cookbook. Give that a second to do its thing. There we go. Now, from here, if I do that, we can see the other search results. Now, right off the bat, there's a few different ways that we can target a blank recipe cookbook. We can do for daughter, so that would be a blank recipe cookbook for daughter. So why would that be a thing? Well, the mother or the dad, mum or the dad, can fill out this blank recipe cookbook with all of their daughter's favourite recipes. So it's things like this that you can do, and you can do that for son. You can do blank recipe cookbook for students. So there's lots of different ways that you can target these books, and there's lots of different keywords that you can target as well. So all we have to do, right off the bat, we have blank recipe cookbook. So we could take away the blank recipe. Would be too broad, so we need to start putting in some keywords. So blank recipe cookbook, we could do a cookbook for recipes, and as we can see, look at this, empty cookbook for recipes, cookbook for recipes, so cookbook for recipes could actually work, but my point is there's lots of different keywords that you can target. I already have another tab open, and I found this keyword, so empty cookbook for recipes, and if we look at that niche score, 57%, which means this could be a very good keyword to target. We can see there's only 756 results, only 730 reviews, and that average BSR looks pretty good as well. So if you were to create a blank recipe cookbook and target this keyword, empty cookbook for recipes, you're more than likely going to make sales. But the more you dive deeper into the blank recipe cookbook niche, the better keywords that you're going to find. Now we can take away recipes. So let's go on there. Let's take away recipes. And now we have a few more keywords. Look at this. So empty cookbook for recipes, we just saw that. Empty cookbook for sweet recipes. So very, very specific. Empty cookbook for recipes for couples. So this would be a couples blank recipe cookbook. So as you can see, there's lots of different ways that you can target your book. Now, once you've done your research and you've found some keywords that you want to target, you want to go ahead and create your book. But how do you do that? Well, you can use Creative Fabrica. Now what I've gone ahead and done is just typed in blank recipe cookbooks. Now you can download your interiors from here, or you can get inspiration from here as well and create your own. My blank recipe cookbooks I completely designed myself, all within Canva, because when I published my blank recipe cookbooks, this section on Creative Fabrica was not available. Literally any interior that I wanted, I always had to go and create it myself until Creative Fabrica added this section. But from here we can see there's some really great ideas, or good looking interiors. This one looks okay. This one looks okay. If we scroll up, if we scroll down, we could go through taking a look at all of these until we found one that we like. Then we can just download that and modify it. Now, the easiest way to modify an interior, remember you should never really use an interior as is or anything as is. You should always customize and make unique. Now with this, I found this one, so I opened that up in a brand new tab. We can see that just here. I really like this style. This looks pretty good. Now, let's just see how much this is. In fact, if we go back to here, let's take that and let's just open it in an incognito window so we can see the prices. We can't see the prices because I'm logged in. So let's go over to there. So right off the bat, we can see how inexpensive that these recipe books are. We can see $2.98, $2.99, $4. So this really isn't breaking the bank. Now if we scroll down to this one, we can see the one that I opened is actually $4.99. Now if you have a membership here at Creative Fabrica, that means you can come in and download anything at no extra cost because it's part of your membership. Now, if you want to try out a $1 30-day trial for Creative Fabrica, we do have a link down in the description below, so go through and check that out if you're interested in that, because again, Creative Fabrica is perfect when you have the membership and Canva Pro, because it just makes things so much easier when designing. Anyway, I've kind of waffled on a little bit. What we did is opened this one. So this looks pretty good. I've already gone ahead and downloaded this. We can see that right here. We have the 100 page, and we have just the recipe page, and we have a few little things. Now what I want to do, or what we can do, is just upload this PDF into Canva. So this is something that Canva recently added. We can now modify just PDFs by uploading them into Canva. Now, one thing that you do need to know as well is that it has a 100-page limit. So if you've designed anything with Canva in the past, you'll know you can only duplicate pages up to 100 pages. Anything more than that, you have to make 2 files and then merge them together. So if you have a PDF which has 120 pages, you're not going to be able to upload that. You need 100 pages. But that's easily rectified. You can use a website which will delete pages from PDF. You can find them everywhere on Google. But now I'll take this. Let's take the 100 page, and now we're just going to drag and drop. So once that's there, we're just going to drop like so. And now it's going to do its thing. I don't think I actually did that properly, so let's do that again. Drag. Oh, it's actually doing it. There we go. So now I'm just going to leave this for a second to load up while it's doing its thing, and I'm just going to pause the video. And bam, there we go. So now the PDF, the interior, has been uploaded here into Canva. And now if I click on this, it's going to open in a new tab. Don't know why that went weird. There we go. It's going to open it in a new tab, and from here I can customize that interior. I can go ahead and change fonts, change layouts, and I'd have a real unique blank recipe cookbook. Now, one thing I do want to note really quick, and that is not every PDF interior that you find is created equally. So every single one over here on Creative Fabrica will be able to edit differently. So if we go back over to here, this, we can't actually change the fonts. If we click on it, we can only change the color. So all I'd have to do is actually delete that, add a text, and then I can do that myself. But then if we scroll down to here, we can see the layout for the page. We can start clicking on these elements and we could change. I could take out one box, I could move that across to like here. I could completely redesign this if I wanted to and use this template, or use it as a template. So let's just go back to here. Let's go back one more to there, and I can also go ahead, delete this little bit of recipe, add my own style. If we click on these boxes just here, we do actually have the option to change the fonts, as we can see. But again, not every interior that you find is created equally. But this is the easiest way to modify an interior which you find over on Creative Fabrica. So that's it. That's one of my best-selling books over the last Q4s. It actually sells like crazy, as you saw in the beginning. So go ahead, start doing some research into blank recipe cookbooks. Try and find those keywords, because there's so many out there, and hopefully you'll be able to make some really great sales. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, go hit subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you can be notified for any further videos. That being said, I've been Paddy, this has been StackinProfit, and I'll see you again soon.